It's kind of funny that this is happening on the same day, but how is it the Cambridges want to move to Windsor? Let's say that that's true. We don't know that it's true, but let's say that that's true. And at the same time, in the same universe, they're running a story about Prince Charles, I guess, selling dinners at the Dumfries house for up to £100. You can have dinner with Charles. And I got to tell you, I have a little history with this. Not a direct history, but just a little history. I actually visited the Dumfries house back in 2018. And the Dumfries house is a grade 1 listed property, right? And it has the world's best collection of Chippendale furniture. Now, I don't have any photos from within the house. I just have a few stock photos that I've, have saved over time because I was so interested in the place. But the Dumfries house is, it's your typical country home for the very well-to-do aristocrat, social climbing, a bit of a honey trap in that the person that built the house, I believe he was a bachelor, and he was trying to attract the right kind of woman. Or either that or he was recently widowed or something like that. But anyway, so I've been there and I've seen these beautiful rooms, and I believe they actually showed a room on the tour, which is where the Prince Charles and Duchess of Cornwall stay. So there's this scandal about selling access to Prince Charles. Simultaneously, they're saying William and Kate want to move into the Windsor Castle. I couldn't make that up. Do you get what I'm saying? It's as though William and Kate figure, well, Pops ain't going to be around for long. This scandal should drag him down. And God only knows what else they have waiting to, I guess, dump out there into the media. And, those polls that say that people would rather have William instead of Charles seems to make more sense. I told you this, I've always had this very, very uncomfortable feeling about this relationship between the Cambridges and, of course, the Middletons, which is really one and the same, because just if you were Carol Middleton, would you want to wait? Would you want to take the risk of waiting another 30 years before your daughter is crowned the queen consort? Would you really want to wait that long for that? That's why I figured they have to be trying to figure out some kind of way to, I guess, shame Charles out of seeking his birthright so that William could be the next king, or at least create a situation where Charles will go through all of the drama of being the, I guess, going through a coronation, I should say, only for him to stay there temporarily, stripping down the royal family to just a handful of people, which pretty much is all it is right now, because you only have the Cambridges and you have the Wessexes? I can never say that. The Wessexes. So you have the Cambridges and the Wessexes. And then after that, of course, you don't have the Sussexes. See, I can say that perfectly. You don't have the Sussexes because you didn't want to do the half in, half out. So you don't have them at all. You only have them for target practice, which is what you have been doing for, 4 years now? So I tell you, this whole thing really stinks, and you can't really tell exactly where it's going to go, because it almost seems too unreal to make sense. But absent the truth, what are we left with? And so, as far as I'm concerned, the truth is they have to try to figure out some kind of way to humiliate Charles, to prevent him from ever really taking the throne. And Charles, people are wondering about his health, which is a major concern because, even though he's Charles, we don't bear any well, at least I don't. I'm not trying to see anything bad happen to him anytime soon. I think he's a very clumsy individual who has been put into a very, I would just say the whole idea of his role in life is predicated upon this primogeniture and all that kind of stuff. It has no place in the modern world. It's great for a movie plot, but it's really not a modern concept. So, and of course, as things go, this whole feudal system that they live in is actually getting smaller by the day. But see, don't discount that, because if you have smaller numbers, you create more exclusivity, and therefore you draw more interest. So the things that make you so unique is also the things that make you stand out. So don't discount that, because when you consider the fact that the aristocracy is becoming more and more insignificant by the day, you also have this simultaneous seesaw action of celebrity rising. The idea of the modern celebrity that is, has actually been something that has evolved over the past 100 years. Whereas people would look to the aristocrats, then they started looking toward the movie idols. And so Hollywood has an aristocracy of its own. And of course, you had the old aristocracy, and then you have the new aristocracy. And as time evolved, just like with the feudal landholders, you have had to diversify your income. So someone who has made movies may also make an album, or they may actually sell goods and products, or open some type of restaurant. It just is unlimited how far the reach of their financial portfolio can go. And so Meghan and Harry have found themselves on the west coast of the United States in this different type of kingdom with different types of rules, which of course they have two home court advantages. Meghan understands what celebrity is in that realm, and of course Harry understands what the aristocracy is in the other realm, because he's literally been right up there at the top. So this is why there's such a threat to so many people, is because the people in LA are not threatened by them. They embrace them. It's the people in Narnia, the people in that magical fairy tale realm, that are the ones that are afraid, because they have to compete more with that nouveau riche of California, and not just the Sussexes, but celebrity as a whole. Because see, by the Sussexes moving to California and living amongst those tribes, it actually puts them on an even level, and young people growing up will see that there is a vast difference. And the big difference is you can easily obtain the position that the Sussexes are in now compared to where they were back in the United Kingdom. So that's why I think that the royal family is in such a panic. And to continue the point that I was making about Charles, I mean, I don't know if these headlines are true or if they're just testing the waters to see what will stick. But either way, Charles is the most vulnerable out of everyone. Charles is the one who's the most vulnerable. And I know the Duchess of Cornwall will be well taken care of when the time comes and Charles is no longer here. If she survives him, then she will be very well taken care of. However, one thing is for sure, as a royal bride, you have no currency on the outside, which is why it was so easy to create this like vulnerability for Princess Diana, because once you're on the outside and you're beyond their protection, then you're discarded. They didn't even want Diana to have a state funeral. And then when you consider Camilla and her position in this whole thing, a couple of lawn chairs at some, obscure location will do, although being in the position she's in now, she will get some kind of, but oh, that poor woman. I don't know that she really has a concept of what's going on. I don't know if she really realizes how vulnerable her position is and that of her family that she has created. If you want to have a good idea of how people in Camilla's position is treated after her husband passes away, just consider the way the Charles Spencer, the Earl Spencer, just consider the way he treated his stepmother after his father died. I mean, literally, she had her luggage stripped away, even with her name monogrammed on it, and her possessions were put in plastic bags as she was escorted out of the house, making sure she didn't nick anything on the way. That is the way you're treated. So, good thing for Meghan. I'm just saying, it's a good thing that she's in a more independent position than a lot of these other royal brides. So, moving on, one thing that really warms my heart, and as we're on this subject, I have been so struck by these beautiful photos of Princess Marie of Liechtenstein, the princess consort. She died at age 81 this past week, and people gathered in Liechtenstein to pay their last respects to her. And in this beautiful tapestry of humanity that you see inside of this church, this cathedral, this place of worship, you see this African-American woman of Panamanian descent right there in the front aisle with her German-speaking in-laws and her husband and her son. I mean, it's an incredible scene. It's such a contrast to the way things are in the United Kingdom. It's such a contrast. And so someone told me after I made the video, Princess Meghan, Princess Angela, in the comments, there actually was a few people in the comments that said some really nasty negative things. Like, oh, well, she wasn't trying to get attention, meaning Princess Angela wasn't a camera hog. And if you marry into the British royal family, there is no possibility that you are allowed to just work behind the scenes. They want you out up front and objectified as soon as possible, especially when you give birth to the first child. That is the way they do. So it's a whole different type of idea of royalty. In Liechtenstein, you can literally go to a coffee shop and you find yourself sitting next to the hereditary ruler of the country, as opposed to the United Kingdom, where they are so elevated and so removed from common people that every little thing is such a big deal. But this beautiful photo that I'm looking at, where Her Serene Highness Princess Angela of Liechtenstein, next to her very tall, handsome husband, who is, I think, 10 or 12 years a junior, I can't remember, But, but they fell in love. They had whatever mutual interest, and they fell in love, and they created this very handsome son. This is the way things are supposed to be, without this controversy of whether or not she will attend the funeral. And oh, we're so glad she didn't show up for the funeral. Life can be so different on the other side of the world. When you look at one family who, is the go-to brand for royalty, and then you have this other family that has quietly and very discreetly managed to, I guess, blend their family with some woman from the outside who hasn't been turned into this villain, an international pariah. So it is, I tell you, and anybody who says that Princess Angela, oh well, if she's not attention seeking and such, I don't think that she actually decided to maintain this very anonymous lifestyle because she's very reclusive and very much out of the limelight, and she usually turns down interviews. I think she wanted to just focus on her family, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the royal family, if given a chance to turn down certain things, certain expectations, they would do it. Like, for instance, Prince Harry. Prince Harry is he's the workhorse of the family. People always say, well, Prince Anne, no. Prince Harry did all the heavy lifting for quite some time. He was the ultimate charm offensive. But there were days when he would rather just do something else. But he didn't have a choice. She had a choice. The British royals don't give you a choice. Her position, she has a choice. And so she's been able to effectively stay out of the limelight. Nobody has ever, I don't think she's ever done an interview. Not that I know of. But she's there with the family. And I'm just glad for her. It's very different circumstances. Yes, they have a lot in common, but these are very different circumstances. And the amount of pressure that's put on any British royal from the tabloid press and the royal rota and such, you cannot make any comparisons to that. I believe that the Duchess of Sussex is very much a person with a strong work ethic. She doesn't have to stay in front of the camera. She wants to do the work. The work was always more important to her than the fashion moments. And you cannot convince people who have become so hostile that they have lost our reality. You can't convince them of that. She works. Just like Prince Charles' motto is, I serve. The Duchess of Sussex is hard working, and she does not require that type of attention. There's a part in the video where all the grandkids, they go up to the podium in the church, and I guess they say part of a prayer or something for their grandmother. I don't speak German, so I don't know what they said. But I was so proud to see this grandson of African descent standing there with his family without it being something odd and uncomfortable. It was just a matter of fact, and that was all to it. It's amazing how when you act natural about a situation, it's just like if you have a dog. If the dog knows that you're nervous or you're panicked, then he gets upset. And it's the same way with people, with families. If you're going to make something uncomfortable, then the rest of the family will follow suit. It all depends on what the head of the household's attitude is. So I don't know this family intimately, and if there has been some type of things behind the scenes, then it has never become a public spectacle that I know of. And I hope that's not the case, and I don't suspect it is. I see a very loving family. When this family had an audience with the Pope, the entire family turned out for that. So if you go to the community page, I'll try to remember to leave a link for the funeral because it's kind of hard to find on YouTube. and it took some digging for me to find it, but I'll try to leave a link for the funeral, and it's like 2 hours long, and if you can skip through it like I did, I did skip through bits of it. But then again, if you're listening to this video right now, you have probably skipped to a few parts of it. I don't blame you. I'm a bit long-winded some days. So, that's it for now. But I know this evening, Ivy Barrow, Sussex Global UK podcast. So look for Ivy today. She's going to do another one of her amazing podcasts, and I'm always looking forward to her. This week is episode 11, Setting Boundaries, and don't we all need that? The good thing about Ivy's podcast is that not only does it give you like a strong reference to identify certain things with the royal family, but you could use it in your day-to-day life. Well, there you have it. That's it for now. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for all of your comments, your likes, and thank you for subscribing. Also, please share if you can, as well as any donations that I have received from you. Thank you so much for making all of this possible. Happy Sunday.